This conference will now be recorded.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Servicenow Admin and Development. This session is in continuation to my last video, that is Servicenow Flow Designer. Today we are going to see how to create a custom action and call it in a flow. So let me quickly share my screen and we'll start. Alright, I have shared my screen. Hope you people can see my screen now. And I'll switch over to my instance. So to give you a background, I have created two tables, two different tables, table A and table B. Let us try to see what are the fields. If I click on new, employee ID, employee address, employee name, and this is acknowledgement, I'll tell you what is it about. Forget about these fields. This is something I'm going to show you later. Just concentrate on four fields: employee ID, employee name, employee address, table B ACK, that is table B acknowledgement. What is table B? Let us switch over to table B. Click on new. It contains almost the same fields: employee ID, employee name, employee address, and this is auto generated field. You know how to create it. Right click, configure table, go to auto number and enable it. So whenever you create a new record, it will give one automated alphanumeric value, a unique ID for each record. For example, if I create something like E003 and some name and email ID, if I save this, see, and again, if I create a new one, coming up, see, this is 13, previously it was 12. Auto increment field. Why? The use case is about pushing data from table A to table B and getting the acknowledgement back to table A. So I will open the textpad. Whenever a record is created in table A, the same should be pushed to table B is the use case. What we will do as part of the development. Create an action to push data from table A to table B. Create a flow. Create a flow to call the action. First step, create a new action and then use that action in a new flow. That's what we are going to do. Over here, whenever we push this thing, a new record, it is coming up. If I push E0009, gmail.com, and I'll keep it as blank. As soon as I submit this record, a flow will trigger. That flow will have an action to push the same record to table B. And then it will be pushed to table B, coming up. It didn't push because the action and the flow is not in place. I did create a set of action and a flow, but I have disabled it because I'm going to create a brand new for you. Okay, so once the data is pushed in this table, auto number field will be generated. I mean, it will generate a value, and that value will be pushed back to table A. That is, table A record will be updated with the auto number value. So that is something called a handshake or an acknowledgement that table B says, hey, I have accepted the value and this is the acknowledgement. So that number will be stored over here. This is the use case. First of all, let us go to the flow designer. We will take the idea from this, which I have already designed. This is an action. It contains input, some steps, then outputs. We will keep this open. It will be handy. It will help us to develop a new action. How to create a new action? Go here, actions, new. Create a new action. Give some name. Push table A underscore table B. Push table A to table B. All right. Submit it. This let it be like global and I'll submit. Remember the action name. Push table A underscore table B is the action name. Submit. It is saving the action. Once it is saved, we'll be able to do the development around it. It is bit slow. Yeah. This is how it looks. Inputs, outputs. All right. So I don't want this. Let us collapse it. This is how it looks. I want to tell this action that I have some input variables. How to create input variables? Create input. See, label, name, type. What does this action? We are going to build something similar to this. So let us take some idea from this. Employee ID, employee name, employee address. I'll copy this. Employee ID, Control V. As soon as I move my cursor, this will be taken automatically. All right, and then see employee name, Control C, add a new one like this. A new action I'm creating currently. And the third one, employee address. All right, cool. Now, what else? It contains some step. This is input variable, but then it contains something called script. So let me save this. Input variables have been saved. I want to do some scripting as I have to use this action to push data from table A to table B. Okay, click on this plus. Nothing happened. Or yeah, it is running a bit slow for excuse me for that. Take script from here. Script. All right, it added one more step just below inputs. All right, so we want to use these inputs in our script. So we will create a variable over here, employee name, like this. Where is it? Our old action, already existing action. See, EID. Okay, Control C. I will give it as EID, and what value it should contain. the value that I'm passing in the inputs, that is employee ID. I can select it from the data pill. Inputs, employee ID. Cool. Create one more. Next, e name, employee name. Control C, give over here, and the same thing from the previous step. I will select employee name. Where did it go? Yeah. And the third one, what is it? E address, employee address. Control C and Control V. And same thing from the data pill input step, previous step, the very first step. From there, we are getting this. Save it. The second step, that is script step, contains the mapping. We have locally defined variables called EID, ename, EAddress in scripting step. From where do they get value? From step 1. This is how we are specifying the values. So when the values are copied to this variable, we will write a script. I already have it. I'll go down, script. Let us copy the script from here. It is a simple script from this existing action that I built to do R&D. So take it this side, scroll down, and here you go with the script. I'll explain everything. So don't get confused if you don't understand. I'm going to explain each and every line. See, this is the scripting area, Control A, Control V. And yes, save it. Cool. It has been saved. It also has got output variable. What is the output variable? Let us see. Do we have an output variable over here in the existing action? Yes, we do have. Copy, Control C, and create a variable over here. Paste it over here. As soon as I move my cursor, it will take this. Now, what is the whole thing about? What is happening? So, hope you understand what is happening over here. We are copying right hand side values to left hand side variables. These are local variables in the script. These are variables that will get value from somewhere. What is that somewhere? A flow. Flow will feed in the value to these variables. From these variables, the values will come to these variables. And what are these variables? These variables are present in the script. Scroll down. So assume employee ID comes into this, employee name comes into this, employee address comes into this. See, inputs.eid, inputs.ename, inputs.address stored in local variables over here. Okay, then what is the use case? Take this record, push it to table B. And that's the reason I am opening a reference to table B. U underscore table underscore B is the name of table B. To write a record, we initialize it. Simple initialize. Then gr.u underscore empid equal to this, employee name equal to this, employee address equal to this. Simple insert operation. This step. This will insert record from table A to table B. Then what next? This is gr. I will open the reference to table B again. Why? Because whenever the table is populated with a record, the auto number acknowledgement field I showed you, it will be populated with some random number, a sequence number. That is something I want to update in table A, and that's the reason I'll open the reference again. I'll do add query employee ID to get that record. I'll query it. If it gets the record, this variable store u underscore number in acknowledgement variable. What is u underscore number? Let me show you. Table B, open. This is the number field. This u underscore number auto number field always has this name in global scope. U underscore number store it in acknowledgement. And then I want to pass this to table A, but I don't have any reference. I will do outputs dot ackb, which is this, equal to acknowledgement. So now the output variable, that is this variable, this same, I'm using this. Pass the acknowledgement tab001223, whatever it is, in the output and end. This is what the step is about. And then again I'll repeat. First thing, get these values from input, actions input from these variables, store it in script variables, initialize acknowledgement variable, open a reference to table B because we want to push all these things to table B. Initialize, assign, insert, done. This will make sure the record is pushed to table B. But then I have to pass the acknowledgement to table A, auto number value. For that, I am again opening a reference to table B, add query, employee ID to filter that particular record, query, and then assign that auto number value to acknowledgement and store it in the output variable. Output variable. Remember, inputs, outputs. From these we read the variables. Outputs dot acknowledgement underscore B, that is this. Job is done. Outputs. Nothing is there. All right. Fine. Now come here. Does it have anything in the output? It should have. Come here. See. All right. Outputs. Create output. First, copy this. Copy. Come here. Create an output variable. Control V. ACK underscore B. Give the name. Control C. It should see. It has become like this. So now I can select what is the value, label, and all right, let me edit it because it should have this name. Exit edit mode. We'll save it. Let me show you again. Edit. See, reflected. Exit edit mode. Now what value should this acknowledgement have? Output variable. Script step. acknowledgement B. Script step acknowledgement B. Save. That is the output variable. Okay. So we make sure the output variable has got the correct acknowledgement value. This variable we use to store value, and in the output step we make sure we assign it over here. This is how it is every time. Now, do we have anything else? The action is done. Action is complete. We will save it and publish it. Successfully saved. Let us publish. Once we publish it, it becomes available to the flow. So we can use it in the flow. It is like that. Now, next thing. Close this old one. This is the current one. Now, we will create a new flow like this. Give some name. Push table tbla underscore tblp. Let it be global. Okay. Push tbla tblp is the flow name. Submitted. Now you already know, I showed you in the last sessions that a flow always has a trigger. So I'll select the trigger as whenever a record is created in table A. What is the name? Let us see. How to search now. Table. Let's do one thing. This is the existing one. Let us search over here. Table hyphen A. We are going to create a similar flow. Table hyphen A. See, whenever a new record is created on this table, I mean in this table, then do something. And what is the do something? Push it to table B. Do we have that action over here? We should have P U S. Yes, we do have. This is the old one I showed you, so we will not use this. I have disabled this. We will use this. And as soon as you select this, see, it will ask what is the employee ID you want to push. So I will tell it that I want to push the current record, that is created record. Table A record. Yeah. Employee ID. Just a minute. Record created. Yes. Here employee ID. Similarly, employee name. Created records. Employee name. Employee address. The record that is created, its employee address. Cool. This is how I trigger the newly created action. When it will be triggered? Whenever we create a record in table A. And these inputs will be passed over here to the action. Done. What else? Let us save it. This is existing action. Do we have anything else in it? Let's see. This is done. Yes, update table A with acknowledgement. See, update record, trigger. Okay, okay. Fine. Now I will add an action over here. Update, update the record. Which record? The currently created one. Okay, currently created record updated, and the field value, that is table B acknowledgement, which we have created in table A. Populate it with the acknowledgement sent by table B, which is, so push to table B, acknowledgement B. All right. So the previous steps output, if you remember in the action, we created output variable. So we are using the action over here. So we have access to the output variable as well. That output variable, we are setting it in table A. That's how it is done. Save and let us activate it. Bit complex. Initially, when you create it, a new action and flow, you will find it bit complex. But when you get used to it, it will be very easy for you. I'll repeat. We created a new action with a set of inputs and one output. Then we created a new flow, and the trigger is whenever a record is created in table A, call the action, provide inputs. So the action will get the inputs and that action will get executed. The script in the action will get executed. It will push the record to table B, and then after doing this, update table A with the acknowledgement sent by table B. How do we get access to the acknowledgement? We created an output variable in the action, and that's the reason this, which is the field present in table A, table B acknowledgement. Let me show you. Table A, it is this field. It is this field to which we are setting value. What value? The value set by previous step. Okay. The action, it will set the value sent by table B to this field. All right. It is activated. So let us try to test it. I will simply delete all the records that we created so that there will be no confusion. Delete from table A, delete. Yes, table B, delete. Yes. Now let us trigger the flow by creating a new record in table A. E0001, employee name is Rahul, blah blah blah, address. Forget about these fields. In the next session, I'll show you what is this. For now, the scope to understand everything is this. Let me save this. As soon as what is the expected output? As soon as I save this, acknowledgement should populate over here. It should be sent by table B. Save. Let us wait. Flow designer is a bit slow. Let us see if everything works fine. Yes. Did you see? That means B is telling table A, hey, I have received your value and this is the acknowledgement handshake from my side. That's how it is. That is the power of Flow Designer. So now let us go and confirm over here. Yes, the record is pushed. What is the acknowledgement? 14, and this 1014 is sent to, say, table A. So friend, that's how it is. So let's do one thing. Let's try to see from here what happened. So I'll go to executions. Let us close the unwanted things. This is our flow. If I go to executions, yes, it shows over here what all things executed, completed, push to table be completed, update record completed. That's how it is. So if there is any kind of error encountered by the flow or action, it will show us over here. All right. So friends, this is all about it. This is pretty much it. So we saw how to create a new action. Let me go back to the action, close everything. Actions, where is it? Push table A, table B is the action. We created a set of inputs, three inputs, type string. Okay. Then we came to scripting step, and then we created local variables over here and assigned values. What values? From step 1, that is input step, using data pill. All right. So whatever will come will be stored in here. And then I define one more set of local variables in my script, and then I use these variables to assign value to the script variables. That is this. EID equal to inputs.eid means this. Similarly for name and address. Once the values are fetched, I am pushing it to table B. If you write this much, it will also execute. But then going ahead, we also want an acknowledgement from table B. That's the reason we opened that table again, the reference, filtered that particular record, and then stored the acknowledgement in a local variable and stored that in this. We created an output variable. Now, did you realize we create output variables because in a flow we can access that value. Whatever we pass as output in an action can be used in a flow. Getting? That's how it is. Then we came here and then we created a new variable with same name, and then this is how it is. Edit. See, this is the name, and what value we are assigning it? Acknowledgement from script step. Script step. You may also rename this, the name of the script. I can do it anything. I can put it like anything. Okay. Output script step means this steps acknowledgement variable. Store it over here. So this finally holds the value which we use in our flow. Which flow? This. This is the flow we created today. Right? This one. Due to that, we are able to use that output variable over here in update step. This is sent by table B. So friends, this is about creating new action, creating output variables, using the output in the flow. Correct? This was the classic example of how do we push data from one table to another, right, and get the acknowledgement. So in the next session, I'm going to show you uh, how to what is remaining, how to create a subflow. What is a subflow? How to create it? We will take a small example so that it will be clear for you. All right. So thank you, friends. See you in the next video.